I'm getting ready to leave for Alberta for a black bear hunt. Now, I've been to Alberta many times in the past, and I haven't been up there for a few years because of one thing or another. COVID got us one year. My buddy that travels with me, his wife got sick one year. They had fires and floods, and so it's been tough getting back up there, so we're on our way. We're going to do something a little bit different in the fact that we are going to take a weapon of choice, which will be the crossbow. Now, I have killed a lot of bears, and in fact probably half the bears I've killed, which number about 20, I've killed half of them with a bow. So I have nothing to prove. We're going to take a crossbow this time, and I'll show you a couple reasons we are. This is the Gearhead X16 crossbow. Now, I've killed a lot of animals with this thing. So what we've done is we've changed a couple things ever so slightly to try to gear up for bigger game. The bow itself is unchanged. We have tuned it up in the recent days, and it has a new vortex scope on it. Still shoots extremely well. I had some issues with shot consistency in the past, so I got hold of Skip at Gearhead, and he suggested another arrow manufacturer. We went with the deer crossing arrows, and our consistency issues stopped. It's throwing laser beams now. And the other thing that you may have noticed is I did say arrow. This crossbow shoots arrows. Basically the same arrow that I'm shooting out of my compounds, but sometimes a little shorter, just so we can get that extra speed involved. There's a single bevel revolution going on right now, and I wasn't into it too much until I tried a few. Now, this particular broadhead is the Crimson Talon Cleaver. That's what we decided to go with. The things that are advantageous about this is, number one, it is a fixed blade broadhead that flies extremely true out of my crossbow. These are some of the sharpest broadheads in the industry. Those people that are out there on YouTube testing broadheads have determined that, again, it's one of the sharpest, but probably more importantly is after all of the testing, they are the sharpest. So very little damage is done with all of the testing, so we think that will translate into better and more humane kills. If you want to check up on somebody, for example, go to Chest Thumper Outdoors. I know he did the 150 grain, and that's what we're shooting out of this crossbow. 150 grain Crimson Talon Cleaver. Cool name, very strong, very rigid broadhead. And since we're going after bear, what the heck? The 150 we'll be shooting on bear out of the crossbow is here. They do make a 125. It is vented, or as I would call it, skeletonized, to get some of that weight off there. And for the remainder of this year, I'll be shooting that out of either one of my compounds. Extremely strong, sharp broadhead.
When you're ready?
Yep. Again, shooting lasers. Now again, the reason we're doing a crossbow on some of these hunts is I was forced to go to a crossbow a couple years ago because I had an injury. I had a rotator cuff tear. Couldn't pull my bow back. But as you can see here, this tactical crossbow breaks down into 3 pieces. My arrows are in a piece of PVC. That all fits in my luggage. I check this. In some airlines, if you fly much, you'll know that some airlines are going to charge you up to $50 per piece of luggage. So if I put this in the luggage with all of my clothes, I don't get hit with that other charge. Now I, for example, also carry camera gear, and since I've gone back and forth to Alberta so many times, I'm usually either bringing a wet hide back or a finished hide back, which is another piece of luggage. So with this, instead of having that gun case or that bow case, it fits right in my luggage. Saving $100 is saving $100. So we're off to Alberta here in a couple days. Wish me luck. We've made it to Bear Camp. We are about 100 miles just south of the Northwest Territories in Alberta. And the closest town is called Rainbow Lake. Set up here in a pretty nice area. It's a big clearing. So we're just basically leaving here on four-wheelers and in trucks and heading to our sites here in just a little bit. Tried to make it all the way up last night, but after 36 hours of non-stop traveling, we decided we were going to stop a little short. We stopped in Slave Lake, Alberta, got a room, got up early this morning and pulled in here right at noon today. So quiet, comfortable. The tents are set up. We have our own sleeping quarters. There's a cook tent, outhouse. Most of the other supplies are just on the other side of these trees. But ideal conditions. This is the second week. They slammed 3 big ones last week. I just shot the gearhead crossbow. It's dead on. Byron had to go to town and finish up a little bit of paperwork, but nonetheless, we are just about ready to roll. So I got to get the rest of my camera equipment together and we'll be heading the stand. So wish me luck. It didn't take long for the action to heat up. Just minutes after Scotty dropped me off, 2 boars showed up that fought over this site for literally hours. After about an hour, both boars decided to check me out closely. This is what you wait for. Two nice boars intensely staring at something coming in. The mere presence of a big boar has everything running for the bush. This big guy took his time. Then he decided he would scent check the tracks of the boar that had just left, which placed him directly underneath my tree. While there, he decided he would put his front feet on my tree, stuck his nose in the air, which put him about 1 foot below my stand, checked me out for a little while. He then pushed off, decided he would go back about his business. Gave me another look, though. He knew that I was new in the area. Before he gave me a good angle for the shot. Okay, we'll put a nice shot on a big bear. We've got the troops here now, so lots of help. Once I put that arrow in him, he was definitely hurting for certain, so we're going to track him down, get him, and get him on this Argo and get him the heck out of here. So first day.
He's 7, isn't he?
Look at that head. Okay, we got to camp at noon yesterday. We had some problems with the flight delay and stuff, so we decided to just overnight at Slave Lake on our way up. Got in camp here at noon, and by 9 o'clock I had this dude on the ground and was texting back and forth to some of my buddies, and they were successful as well. So first day we got here, we've got over 14 foot of bear on the ground. Amazing day. I don't know that the equipment could have performed any better. As you can see, I hit this bear mid-mass just behind the left shoulder. The broadhead went through, hit the humerus bone on the other side and was protruding out. And as he ran, he snapped the arrow off and the bear died within 50 yards. Like I said, I don't know how it could have been any better. After Dave shot his 7-foot bear, he exercised his option to take a second bear. We found ourselves with this quite inquisitive boar that decided to spend 2 or 3 hours playing games with us, while a bigger boar was off in the distance. I don't think he was a shooter, but it sure made the evening interesting. Ray and I came down to a stand that's real close to camp, and we're going to take a couple chairs, sit on the ground, video some beers, and see what comes in. This is where Ray saw 14 different bears the first night. As a precautionary measure, it's best to take the seat off the four-wheeler, because the bears will come up here and eat the cushions. So a lot of bears in this area, so let's see what we can see. As the guys said, this stand is busy. There were 3 boars and a big old sow in here. And all of them decided to come in within 10 feet of us as we're sitting there. This bear sat up against this tree for the entire time we were there and finally came out. It was eating something. I don't know what, probably a beaver. But this old girl is about 6 foot from us right now, popping her jaws. She was not one to be pushed around. This boar came in, and you'll see why we brought a rifle in this particular bait. He was going to challenge us for a second. So I huffed, he turned, and you'll notice the sow off to our right started huffing as well. So this guy just wasn't welcome. And the fight ensued. That had to hurt. She left him alone for a while. The reason for the commotion is up the tree. We've got 2 cubs in the tree to our right. This guy's tasting a few buds. He's been through this before. He knows when Mom says go up the tree, and you might as well grab yourself a snack while you're there. And this was the 3rd one in a tree behind us. It was a little tough to make out, but this is why Mom was not real happy about things. Well, I don't even know how many bears we saw in here tonight, but it is busy. And we still have a cub in a tree behind us, so he may not be coming down because we're here. He has seen us. He's one of a number of triplets, and Mom's been circling and circling. He still won't come down, and I think it might be because we're here, so we're going to get out of here. This is our last evening building a ground blind. Making sure Dave can shoot if something comes in. We've had a good trip. 3 bears. Getting another one, fine. And look who shows up. Another stud. He hasn't given us anything but a straight on since we've seen him about 50 yards back in the bush, so he's been around the block. So he wants to investigate. This blob under the trees is something new, so he's going to check it out. And if we get a shot, fine. But it may not happen. He's about 3 yards. And he's going to come to 1 yard. This big guy never gave us a good shot, but the following week, one of Byron's customers, Dustin, made it happen. Congratulations, Dustin. after a week of hunting at Byron Wolf's Wolf Hunting Adventures. Right now we're about an hour and a half north of High Level, Alberta. 3 nice bears in the box. We're having our last supper with everyone, and we can't hardly get everyone here because they're out working 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, so they're extremely busy. I can't even count the amount of bears that I've seen this week, and with that in mind, that means that there's a lot of trophy bears in the immediate future. So yeah, we're taking 3 bears home. One of them hit the 7-foot mark. The other 2 just barely missed it. But we've had one heck of a time up here. I've hunted with these guides in the past, just at a different camp. So now Byron is setting up here. I can't recommend it highly enough. The hunting, the bears, the guides, the food are all spectacular. So you're welcome to come up with me if you'd like. Otherwise, Wolf Hunting Adventures out of Alberta.